Talk about your drink and what you think. Here in
Not sure.
We'll see.
He's working that roofing crew down at that barn today.
Come on then, Billy. I know you're about to give us your intro now that you've been sneaky.
I got a good 6.5 minutes right there. I tell you what, though, I might go through there and edit some stuff out, fade stuff in and out, some of the highlights. Maybe some of the more juicy stuff I will share at patreon.com/GetOnTap if you want to become a subscriber. And you know what? I'll tell you what, if I get 20 subscribers, I'll release 20 new subscribers off this. I'll release the entire thing public about them walking into the board, intimidating them. And
hang about.
That's a good thing.
He goes, I'm going to edit and reuse this. No, that's called Zuckerberg.
Hold on,
that's
I
Zuckerberg.
got my attorney.
Well, that's the problem. As the attorney on this show, I want my own disclaimer for y'all.
Uh-oh. This sounds like it might cost some money.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just had about 6.5 minutes of them ranting. It's fabulous stuff. I'll probably load it on our Patreon page maybe, and we'll start the show somewhere around here. But we are back. The number one podcast in the German Baptist community. We are the Appalachian Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Riddle.
That is an opener now. You're going to use that as an opener, aren't you?
Exploit your strengths. Anyway, I'm Billy again. My co-host, Simon. Simon, we're not in the Timcast IRL studios today. We are, I guess by proxy, we're in the Big Lick Roofing studio, since if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the power, and I'll be having to drive back to my house a second time today to pick up half of my equipment. I forgot my laptop, and then I get my wife to meet me halfway.
Is this
unreluctantly?
This is a Samson and Delilah, because I've got a new visual of Billy, by the way, and he's had his mullet significantly cropped. And if you know the story of Samson and Delilah, his strength has been significantly diminished.
That's exactly what happened to that. I mean, it's clear.
You know what? That makes good sense, like the biblical references.
There we go.
I mean, we're a holy show, and
wholesome or holy?
Both a little bit. I mean, we have our moments.
We
have managed.
Or was it neither? We
have managed to sit on an entire show and not drink one drink or say one curse word. That was with the lovely Melissa Gayona, WDBJ7.
That was a very clean show. We had a couple of clean shows. We had another clean show with let me see.
We can count them on one hand, and we can't even remember.
Gail and Thad, we've been very well behaved with.
Yeah.
There
was a couple curse words dropped, and there was drinking though.
Mercer from Ferrum College, the president of Ferrum College, that was very clean. Yeah. But you're quite right. There may be one hand required to count the
number of times I hadn't had to click that little button that says this show contains explicit material.
Yeah, about that.
Maybe 5 times.
Well, anyway, so don't be disappointed.
Well, either way, so yeah, we're up here in what we're hoping to be our virtual studio, like temporarily permanent. I don't know, because we're trying to work on a studio with Amos as well. Maybe we have 2 of them. Maybe, for 2 different reasons. Maybe on a show for a bit, me and Chip will talk about some of the stuff we got going on kind of here in the future. I think it's going to tie things in for this show. But I mean, I'm just imagining, you get some, we've already had Spike come up here, but all kinds of, me and Chip have been going back and forth about some of the people that we've been messaging and emailing back and forth out there with, really big followings and really influential people. And they got really good things to talk about. I'm like, why not get them up here to a mountain studio, spend a couple of days in Franklin County.
There you go.
Eat at our restaurants, stay at one of our bread and breakfasts, motel, whatever. Or maybe if the cabin's doing good, Amos go sleeping spot at his place. You stay up there, you ride the trails, you do some hiking. Maybe you go float in the river. I mean, we've
shoot some guns.
So many of these people we have opportunities to bring here once we turn this studio into what we're looking to turn it into. But I'm super excited about being up here today, and I can't wait till we get the ball rolling on that stuff.
Yeah, this is, it's just to me, I mean, it's my damn cabin, right? So I love it.
If you get 30 people to come in from out of town a year to actually want to come in and stay, and that's just saying if we do one show a week like we do right now, you get 30 for a year. I guarantee you out of them 30, 5 of those people, at least, are going to find something locally around here, whether it be a vacation spot, whether it be, maybe they just want to get out of the city and find a place to live. They're going to fall so in love with hanging out with these assholes. It's something odd about them. It's like,
well, we know we're going to get, we now have an international reach. So,
Yeah, we do.
we could well have Topher Field coming from Australia. G'day, mate. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
I'm hoping on July 4th we can maybe bring all that together. I've talked to Spike's guys, and he said he's excited. He asked if they came, could they camp up here? I said, I don't think Simon would have a problem.
How
Turning
about
down a
it?
spot. I don't know if Spike wants to camp, but Chris and them, or Brian, I'm sorry, and Jenny and
There's
those.
plenty of space for everybody in here.
Yeah. is it?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
You can sleep upstairs here.
Exactly.
I've got at least 3 or 4 beds upstairs.
That's what I'm saying. 5 of those people, they're going to find something around here. And okay,
Yeah.
well, now I need somebody to design me a house. Where Amos can design it for you, and he'll throw you in the direction of somebody. Well, I need somebody to do all the paperwork and shit. That's where the suit comes in. Now we throw somebody in the direction of
The
somebody like our
suit.
guest here today.
I couldn't even park my damn car. Amos was already talking shit when I.
Yeah. Didn't take long, did it?
What did you say? It looked like a UPS driver.
Well, that was after you got out. I told you to hide the car. It's too fancy to be up in here.
Looked out of.
So obviously we got Chip Slade over there being libertarian. Y'all know him. He's one of our recurring guest co-hosts on here along with Amos. Amos, you never told me if you liked my video that I made the other day and sent out.
With Amish Paradise playing?
Yeah.
Of course I liked it.
You never I wanted a dang reaction.
That
That's
was
all.
classic,
quiet.
wasn't
I
it?
haven't shared it yet.
I've been working nonstop, Billy. I'm hurting.
Haven't shared it yet, but I'm going to do it here probably in the very near future. That's the thing why I encourage everybody to go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/getontap and become a subscriber. It's only like a $3 a month, a dime a day. That's minimum. I know y'all spend more than that going to Bowling's and getting some hot dogs and beers or a bar. Take $3, $5.
Don't spend it at Starbucks. Don't do it.
Yeah, shoot it our way. And that way we can, that pushes us in the direction of getting to these cameras and getting stuff set up. Because Chip, he's got his followings out there on his social media pages. He'll be the first to tell you what drives stuff is little clips. Having a couple cameras sitting around here, catching y'all on the porch ahead of time, getting animated.
For the
when you're
pre-show?
not thinking about it.
Oh, dear
But
Lord.
even then, little 20, 30-second clips here, you're talking about triple digits, hundreds of thousands to millions of views, maybe not every single time,
Well,
but as animated as y'all watch, that's why we need everybody.
You got how many? There was an X clip that you put out that got something like 2.5 million
I ended up
views.
getting to be around 5 and 5.5.
5.5. Good Lord,
when you throw in,
5.5
the
million
Instagram
views.
stuff.
That's insane.
It's crazy, and it's repetitive. It's
If you love good music and good podcasts, you'll love Roots Music Rambler. I'm Jason Falls. My co-host Francesca Folinazzo and I talk to the singers, songwriters, musicians, and more in Americana, alt-country, bluegrass, folk, blues, and beyond. We share our own takes on the latest news in the space and recommend new music for you to explore every episode. Come get to the roots of the music you love. Find us at rootsmusicrambler.com or go wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe to Roots Music Rambler.
I don't know how to turn on a computer. I don't understand technology at all.
We know.
But
We're aware.
when that thing went stupid, the amount of people on Twitter that wanted to follow me.
What are we talking radio here?
Dude, it was like instantly when that went stupid, because it was tagged to us, and like all of a sudden instantly, dude, people just like tons of people on Twitter are just blowing me up.
You talking about the Patriot clip that you posted on Thanksgiving?
The ATF guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still to this morning, I'm getting messages of people liking and sharing, and I'm like, I got to figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
Later.
Yeah, that one was badass. And the cool thing about, and that's kind of why I like that little sphere of stuff over there, because the guy who actually made the video, I didn't know it because there was no tags or anything. He just hit me up and said, dang, I need to do a better job of watermarking these things and putting our logo on it. And I said, well.
Grab the mic.
Yeah, I was like, well, dude, I'm sorry. I said, I'll tell you what, though. That's the second time.
Mike.
Dude, at 420.
I'm slowly watching it just fall. Grab the mic.
Dakota's the only one in here that has a clean mind, as he said earlier.
I support 420. I'm just not part of it.
Welcome to the Appalachian podcast, by the way, Dakota, because that's how it goes every time.
I'm trying to go around the frickin' table, but you bunch of heathens. The 2 shows in 3 weeks up here, and Simon's had the only one that collapsed.
I mean, slow
If you
motion.
go back and listen to our last show up here a couple weeks ago,
I got this shit.
All right, so he said, watch the mic after Billy was talking about the dude saying, hey, I should watermark it. And I'm thinking to myself, sell yourself. That's what I thought he was talking. He was thinking.
I was being literal. Watch the mic; it's falling.
And all of a sudden, he's like, I'm looking over here, and I said, oh.
Well, the dude hit me up, and I was really cool about it. I was like, dang, dude, if I'd have known. So I sit there and made another post and shared it. I said, hey, everybody's really enjoying this clip right here. This is a guy who made it. Next morning, he wakes up with like 1,000 new followers, and he's a guy in the Pacific Northwest. I'm like, let's try and get him out here some point in time. That's another thing that becoming a subscriber on Patreon does. For just a dime a damn day minimum, you can throw in more. Amos could definitely throw in more, a little bit more than his $0 a month he does. But
big.
You can always give more if you got a little bit of money with inflation and stuff. That's becoming a subscriber also helps us perhaps help somebody fly here. You know what I mean? Because we meet halfway, give them $200. Like bringing these cool people in, letting them get to our area
helps us get some gives us some money to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you imagine Topher Field out here?
Holy hell!
That's
yes, I can.
We're really Simon again in Appalachia together.
But I'm telling you, once we get these cameras set up and we start getting clips of these guys being animated and stuff, those clips go out there and they're going to generate a ton of revenue, like ad revenue. Because I already make ad revenue on X now, and I have nothing. All I do is do mediocre Appalachian stuff here. Now, any videos I do are just ones I find from another site. I clip real quick and upload them, and that way I get some views on them to get paid. But if I had legit stuff like content creation with these assholes,
OC as they call it, original content. Yeah.
I mean, we're
OG or OC?
OC, original content.
Anyway, so we also got in here because we're doing a couple shows up here today. We got Smokey the Appalachia standing in the corner. After this show with our guest, we're going to be recording our annual State of Appalachia show, and it's going to be phenomenal. We wanted to make it a bigger event this year, but we got a lot going on. Hopefully next year we'll plan it out a couple months in advance, see if we can get Spike up here. Maybe we can get a couple of these other people around we've been kind of collaborating with, and make the whole bring Billy up here, play some music, make it kind of a little shindig for the show, because we're gonna, kind of go into some things. I really have a conversation I've been wanting to have with Amos for a long time, so I'm glad Smokey's here. We can have that in the next show. But we're also being joined by Dakota Weddle over here. He is our guest. We finally got to him. How many minutes in we are?
Remain seated.
But he's an entrepreneur around here. He's a sharp guy. He's young. He's energetic. He's the kind of person that we hope people out there are getting their kids to want to be. People out there saddled in debt, coming out of college at his age, and here he is rocking and rolling. And he's obviously the guy with Big Lick Roof, and we're gonna get into that. That's why I called him our studios earlier for the help of my.
That swindled me out of a house when he was like 18. How was you? Was you 18?
Let's see. Well,
I
was 19. Yeah.
Yeah.
19.
And I wanted that house bad.
Adulting early.
But man,
good man.
Dude, I'm telling you.
We have stories.
He's 26 years old and my hero. Like, I look at him, I'm like, man, the boy knows what's up. Even though I've had to go down to his house a couple times when he was 19 years old, living in his own house. They're like, all right, dude, we need to calm it down a little bit. The girls
Just
are hot coming in here.
Did anybody ever come to you and tell you to calm it down a little bit when you were younger? Who did that?
But the difference is he listened.
I'm just honestly wondering who did
Not
that.
because I said calm it down. He was thinking deeper than that.
Had to respect the neighbors, all right? I didn't want a car in my living room, I already had to deal with my bushes, so I didn't want to end up with a minivan in the living room.
He knew it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think we'd even met each other hardly.
No. But we did real soon. Yeah.
Well, I woke up and there was boxwoods hanging out from under my car in my driveway. And I knew the only place on the street that there was boxwoods was in front of your house.
They were on the way out anyways.
So I went up there, and there it is. All of them are taken out all the way around the curve up on the bank. Like Dakota.
Did he bill you for landscaping?
European landscape.
Yeah. Well, he was. Rumor was that Dakota was going to fix the house up, and he was wanting to remove them. So I was just trying to speed the process up. So I walk up there, and I'm like, man, I think I ran over your boxwoods last night.
He couldn't remember. Drugs and alcohol played a role.
And he was like, man, it's all right.
Allegedly.
He was like, man, it's
the
all
lawyer
right.
in the room. Allegedly.
I was going to take him out anyway. I'm like, all right, thank God. Because pretty well did it.
I think you told me there you had like an air compressor in the front seat, and you was high, and the air compressor was about to fall onto you or something. So you
the passenger door opened up. Like I didn't get it last night. Well, it was an old Blazer.
Oh, okay. So
and like you know how the doors kind of drag or whatever. And I don't think I got it shut tight. And I was going down the road, and the air compressor I'd set it in the front seat, like it fell over against the door and kind of knocked the door at me. And so I tried to reach over and grab the air compressor and keep it from falling out. And as I did, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
He was taking it was like turn 3 on Daytona in my backyard.
Took out the boxwoods, which it ain't like a level yard.
It's nice bank.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh, hell yeah. A good one.
Yeah.
Took out the boxwoods off the bank, back down into the driveway, and on out to the house.
Is this a Blazer? Is this a...
Yeah, like a little small, the 2000 Blazer.
To take it, that's not bad.
Is the Corolla still a thing up there?
No, we ended up getting rid of it a long time ago.
That was a death trap.
Been a lot of good stories about that mountain, though. That's why.
But back to Dakota, started company Big Lick Roofing. And is amazing with it. Stays on the cutting edge of the latest technology in roofing. And carry on. Tell us what Big Lick's about.
The newest thing is
the
AI.
Daylight Big Lick.
Yes. The Big Lick difference. The Big Lick difference. There's so much with that. So much with that. You know, we've got our new solar shingles popping around. Which is
awesome.
Oh man, that is.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought a sample up as well, because that is revolutionary.
Yeah, it's evolving.
Cutting edge.
Yeah.
And it's a shingle, not a solar panel, a shingle with solar
mini panels.
And it's not a tile. It's an actual nailable shingle. You nail it like you would a standard architectural shingle. It's fastened by nails.
That blows my mind. And when you think about, and I mentioned this, I mean, we had this discussion earlier before we got live, was about the catastrophic damage of that solar farm in Texas with a hailstorm. It took it out.
Yeah.
Now everyone is so against, and this is part of the board of supervisors issue as well, and their zoning laws and in relation to setting up solar farms. And the solar farm concept, I think, is incorrect.
It's outdated.
Well,
with the technology
it's inefficient.
It's outdated.
Well, it's outdated and inefficient. But more importantly, when it comes to for me, the market to make solar energy viable isn't on a mass scale. It's on an individual scale.
I've delivered to these solar sites, the farms they've been putting up all the way from Henry to Alta Vista, all the way into Halifax. I mean, every single one on Pennsylvania County. And every time I go into every one of them, same thing. It's kind of a scam, because by the time you make any kind of money back off of it with the farms, now you're having to start replacing equipment and stuff. And so basically it's just getting subsidized, and somebody's making money in there somewhere, but it ain't really who needs to make money.
Well, that's just another big company, but with like this technology and these solar shingles, you know, that's
real.
That's straight to you.
Yeah. It's a roofing system.
What do you say all the time?
Oh yeah. You know, why rent your power when you can own it?
Absolutely. And AEP,
you're just renting it.
If we had
another 5% coming down the line,
you could see me giving you the middle finger, because AEP,
when's the last time powers went down in price?
Yeah, exactly.
When's the last time?
It's a con job. We know it's a
ridiculous.
Damn con job.
Seriously.
And so, like a typical house, how much power on a typical house are you generating?
So I've kind of come in here and I've kind of looked at solar entirely different. I think so many people have been screwed out of money with solar panels, because you get these sleazy salesmen in there and they fill up a roof with all these solar panels, and it's $80,000-$90,000.
Screw holes all through it.
And they're leased. Most people sign a lease agreement on it. They're not even theirs. And what people don't realize about solar is, even though you want to go green, I like it. That's fine. Go green. But think about it from a business aspect. Think about if we can just cut that power bill, $100, right? $100 a month. That's money going back in your pocket, right?
Explain to me and everyone that's listening a little bit about how you use the solar power, whether you can meter it and sell it back to AEP in this state, or you can have your own battery bank that gives you the independence of power. How does this all work?
Yeah, so there's so many. I mean, there's two different ways solar works. You've got net metering, and then you can store it with a battery system. And personally, I think the smarter way is to honestly do both if it's feasible. But personally, most people nowadays are net metering with the increasing costs of power. I mean, tremendously going up 4 and 5% every year.
So net metering basically is just
for every kilowatt you generate,
deducting off of your
100%.
Right now, I understand that concept. But in rural areas, and the infrastructure, the lack of infrastructure that we do have here,
shitty infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just say it.
Well, it is. I mean,
it's terrible.
It's from the 50s. So feeding back into the power, you think your solar power and everything's good. So you're feeding back into the AEP failed infrastructure. When that infrastructure fails, which it does all too often, you're still out of power.
Yeah.
When you get a power outage, you're out. If you have a battery bank and that smart switch to be able to incorporate feeding the grid and topping off your batteries in the event of a power outage, now you've got something that you really
a little bit of backup.
Yeah, a little bit.
It may not be huge, but it's, for those short spells. But at the end of the day, then you end up power managing anyway.
Yeah.
And that, that's a smart way to do it. So if you've got an extended, for whatever reason, if a twister came through here and took out, a small region, this could take months to get back. We've seen that in various areas of the country and up to Tornado Alley.
Once the, like the shingles are installed, though, you can from there, you can do a whole host of things with that power.
Yeah. I mean, I think, when you can't really compare this to a solar panel system. It's just not the same. And that's the biggest thing, on social media, Google, everybody's like, it's solar panels are better. They put out more power. They should. They absolutely should put out more power, right? But what's really driving the decision here, right? Are you going to put panels on your roof with a 3-year guarantee for power and then deal with the leaks at year 5 when that
and
company,
a hailstorm comes through
or annihilates it, right? I mean, I'll be honest with you, we get so many calls weekly, like, hey, my roof's leaking, and we go out and look at it, and we get out there as solar panels, and then they get upset when we're not touching the solar panels. It's not going to happen. You got 100 holes in your roof. Now, there's a construction guy in the room that's going to understand my logic with this, right? Let's talk about lag bolts. These solar panels are lagged into your roof. If you have a 2x4 right now and you put a lag bolt in it.
Oh, you've just weakened it.
And what happens when you take it out to repair that roof?
It's done.
Don't you think that rafter is...
And 100 of them in one side. And most of the time, that's on one facing slope.
Yeah, generally speaking. Now, what about those unflashed penetrations?
Chip, what'd you say earlier about amount of cases?
Well, that's the thing I was going to say outside is, all the cases, the calls I'm getting are from holes from these panels.
Yeah.
And it's, they're leaking. And so what do you do? I mean, and it's a problem. You got all these holes in your roof.
What do you do?
You mitigate for mold.
It's a mess, right?
You rip your panels off the roof to start, trash that, then you mitigate for mold, then construction damage. I mean, right. But you say 100 lags. So how many of them lags was run in, almost missed, and ripped down the side of the board,
100%.
Or back out and moved over, and that's then you have two.
This is why solar panel companies are pop up. They don't stay in business, and it's because it's not a good business model. It's to make a quick amount of money, and they're out. That's it. That is it.
What kind of warranties on these shingles?
Your average solar panel is going to have a 3-year power production guarantee, and then they're going to probably toss like a 5-year workmanship warranty. All right? The company might, I'll give you a 5-year guarantee against leaks. My system's 25 years. I'm going to guarantee power production 25 years with no leaks. Now, that's not saying at year 26 it's not going to stop. It's not going to work. It'll still work. But the manufacturer is saying, I'm going to guarantee you warranted production for 25 years. No questions asked.
So the older they get, is the amount of power they produce, does that slowly...
So this is the technical side coming out of me. The manufacturer warrants 84.8% of the total output for 25 years.
Okay.
That's huge.
Do that.
That's
Impact
huge
resistant.
Impact resistant.
with a hailstorm.
Yep.
What typically? So it's going to.
I can't tell you I've seen hail hit this product yet, but I can tell you, like I did for you, I dropped it in your gravel driveway.
Mm-hmm.
Just threw it down for you, and I said, there you go. No questions asked.
Well, you hang around us, you'll go through.
We'll
a
put it to the
storm or two.
test.
Oh yeah, for sure. How do you attach that now that I miraculously had a standing seam roof put on my place?
Horror stories, reputability.
That was a beautiful thing. How would you reverse engineer installing that product on a standing seam?
All right, so we're gonna hope I don't get in trouble for this.
Don't worry, we don't have a big reach.
So this product, as it stands, is not designed to work with standing seam, master rib type roofs. Right? It's made to work with their shingle system.
Right.
But
And this is all this is through
GAF.
Yeah, GAF.
Yeah. So GAF is like nearly 140 years. They're as old as Coca-Cola.
Wow.
All right. So let's talk about a reputation.
They're still here.
They're here.
That's all you need to know.
And he gets certified. He's a GAF through and through. Next thing I know, GAF's got him in Puerto Rico or somewhere for a week. And I'm like, 26 years old, started a company, is on top of the cutting edge. And
it's all about being different, right? It's all about preaching the truth. And,
Mama told me.
Yeah. Yeehaw.
Well, how did it get to that point? Because, whether you come from my point of view where I've seen him for a few years now, or you're just kind of listening to this show and getting to know him, either way, to be his age and already be a success, like you can't go around Roanoke or listen to the radio without hearing one of his commercials or billboards. And then I go start hanging out at the wood shop and I'm like, all them trucks up there and trailers. I said, is that the owner of the place? He said, yeah, what the hell's he doing living back here in the hillbilly holler with your slack-jawed ass?
The shack.
Dude, he's got a $10 million view now, though.
I do. Yeah. At first, when they started logging, I was upset.
Don't tell the tax man. $10 view. I mean, it's garbage.
But from 18 to 26, Dakota's went from having a roommate with a tire hanging in the backyard in a tree to now having
I was making ends meet.
Now having a putting green in the backyard with a $10 million view.
Now. That's fun. Yeah, that's
how to do it. That's on
that. You just do that for.
I ain't
never seen him out there yet.
I'm not a good golf guy.
He plays a lot, but not on that putting green.
Yeah. I can tell you there's more golf balls back in the trees than on that putting green. I can rest assure you. But it's a conversation piece, right?
But the way you do that is the same way you become an attorney or a doctor.
Yep.
I want to be the best. Anybody can be a fly-by-night roofing company, or I'm going to get into this. I'm going to be on top of the cutting edge. I'm going to understand the technical side of getting you a new roof after a hailstorm damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to understand. That's how.
Yeah, I've taken this baby and grown it. And, I can go out and I can watch 5 or 6 other companies do business for 20 years, right?
And he don't drink and do bad things.
I know, I don't.
Smart.
But I can watch the companies that have been around do things, and it's like, there's a better way. There's a better way. It's like buying a Michelin tire, right? You don't buy a Michelin because it's good, right? You buy it because it's Michelin. So I think, I was trying to change that aspect in the roofing industry. It's like, listen, I want to do something nobody else is doing. I want to have my own conversation pieces. And that's what I've done. Now my insurance division, now I'm intimidated. I get, it's intimidating out there. I hear the chatter, but, all as a whole, I really enjoy it. And I continue wanting to take it to the next level. There's always a better way, and learning to be technical, understanding what you're actually doing is a big part of it. Because I think there's so many people that are, they're subbing left and right. These crews are not certified. Don't get me wrong. We subcontract. Just about every contractor nowadays does it, right?
And all your project managers are certified. I mean, you certify all your guys.
My in-house guys they're in-house certified. I mean, but my
project manager at one point in time.
He has like a little mini house set up. Like all the guys go through like inside training.
Yeah, we have mock roof systems that we bring in monthly, and we learn new techniques, and we have the manufacturer come in and certify us. I mean, we're trying to stay on top of our game, because I did a conversation piece. It's probably been 6 months ago. I had somebody come to me. We was drinking like a cup of coffee. Believe it or not, I'll drink a cup of coffee. Couldn't tell you what's in it, but he was like, Dakota, he was like, before we talk about the technical side of roofing, tell me, like, what are the common shortcuts that you see out in this industry?
Where's the problems?
Yeah, where are the problems? Like, why, what drives pricing on bids? Like, why would I get 3 bids and there's, $3,000 difference between you and another guy? And it's like, well, let me ask you, do you think we're all in the same business to lose money? Well, no. Do you think that I'm in the business to be $3,000 higher to lose? No. Do you think the guy who's $3,000 cheaper can do it $3,000 cheaper? No. There's something in the mix that is causing that price to drive.
Yeah.
Right? You get what you pay for.
Yeah,
and
very much so.
It wasn't until I really got involved that I started preaching system warranties in Roanoke. Roanoke has been one of those markets that has struggled. People have seen the cheap of the cheap, but they've also seen the best of the best. And I think it all boils down to who you're doing business with, the reputation, and the backing of that company. So my company's backed. If I were to go out of, if I put a roof on your house right now, right, I'm going to supply you a warranty down to the nails. I clearly convey that in the contract. And if my company goes out of business for some odd reason, that warranty is still backed up by GAF. They write the warranty.
And can I bring it up? I guess Billy can edit it out if not, but it's transferable.
Yeah, one time transferable for free. You can do it a second time in the first 20 years for an additional fee.
So if you sell your house,
it adds value. Let me ask you, when you go out and buy a house, right? Everybody runs into the home inspector and they just praise this guy. They praise it. I can't tell you how many home inspection reports I've seen and I laugh at. But when it comes to the roof, that seems like it's the number one most overlooked thing because we got drones now. We don't have people climbing on roofs anymore. So how can you tell me that my roof at 18 years old has got 5 years of life left? And how can you even tell me it's got 5 years of life left in it in general? It could leak tomorrow. No.
I mean, when we replaced the roof, Amos, thank you. When my roof was replaced by Amos, there were so many soft spots. It was ridiculous. And that was before a certain low subcontractor came in and replaced the ones that they thought were bad. And then we had another issue further down the line, and Amos came in, and you still had to replace even more boards.
Oh, dude, there was plywood on he had plywood on his roof that literally, I walked on it and instantly knew it was soft, pulled the shingles up and pushed my fist through. I mean, but they never flashed the chimneys,
Right. Gotta have that.
Yeah.
You gotta have that.
Is the key.
I mean, obviously I'm a contractor. People have no idea a roof, what it can either preserve forever and ever. Like it is
everything. What matters most.
It's everything.
I've always said there's 2 things you don't shortcut in life: your roof and toilet paper.
That's it. I mean, I'll use a marine analogy. The more holes you put in a hull of a boat.
Whoa! It's a PG show.
The hull of a boat.
No. The more holes you what? I mean, you're a sailor. We know what happens on ships.
Whoa!
Oh, it ain't gay if you're underway. Hey, it's just a common saying.
Common on
exactly
quote unquote.
So you use that marine analogy, and you've got to have the bottom paint on to protect the hull. You don't want to put through hole fittings through. Yeah, everything is done to keep the water out. Now, if the water gets in, what happens to a boat? It sinks. Now reverse that with residential property and a roof.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing, just upside down. But you're protecting it from the elements. Without the integrity of the roof, your house is going to sink. Same with a boat.
It's this year's been weird for us. Like I can't tell you the replacements that we have went through that the roofs are less than 5 years old, and I know that's shocking.
That's shocking.
COVID product.
Well, and installers, I'm gonna say too. But like
you can see that
when I first went into business, it was replacing 20-year-old roofs. Like people knew they needed new roofs, and we still do that occasionally. And I say it like it's like I'm making it up, but we replaced a roof a few months ago. It was 2 weeks old.
That's insane. Now, this is something to think about. I've thought about
not
this
the product,
as well.
The install,
everything as a whole. This guy, we put a bid on this roof, and great guy. I mean, great guy. And he was like, Dakota, y'all were $3,000 higher. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, there's value in what we do, But I get it. When you think about roofing and
and
construction, you watch Google and YouTube, you're like, oh, this ain't nothing. The material costs $5,000. I've got this in the bag. But this poor guy settled for the cheap as the cheap. Right. And he was on vacation when the roof got put on.
Now, is this something to do with new growth timbers versus old growth timbers? Because the new growth stuff has significantly less structural integrity or just overall integrity than the old growth timbers.
Was more of an install issue than a product issue.
Right.
You could just tell that it was poor.
But does this, with this mass production that we have now with the timber industry, and we're using all new growth wood, it doesn't have the strength of...
It's not what it used to be.
Exactly. So a 2x4, number one, it was a different measurement, 30 years ago, but it was an older growth product that was used. So, all the growth and strength was there in the wood. Now we're looking at mass harvesting and young growth wood.
It's not the same.
And it's not the same. It's significantly weaker. So at what point are we dealing with also a structural integrity
from
issue?
Sags in rafters and stuff.
Inconsistencies. That's why we have the N word in our stuff now. Nominal.
Right.
Whoa. Whoa.
But
I know we're in a slave cabin now, but
I get what you're asking is that the part of the cause of the shortened lifespan?
Right.
I think so. It could have something to do with it because that screw isn't going to hold in there.
Well, obviously,
it's not the same.
With an old,
you have like GAF, but I'm saying how many products is on the market that are just straight trash products?
All right,
from a Chinese company.
Yeah, I think. All right, so I think the roofing industry is one of the most shortcutted things. I think there's so many people coming into the roofing industry with mindsets of I can cut his throat. I think people go in the business for the wrong reasons, right?
Of course, if
I can do it cheaper and make more.
The
money.
Walmart model, right?
I
get it.
The whole every industry's that way.
It is 100%, and I think what separates getting that value out there is simply knowing what they're doing, right? Knowing how to preach that to the client. It's like, listen, Miss Homeowner, I totally understand that this is a huge gap for you, but the cheapest roof you're going to buy is the one that gets put on right the first time. Now, what I can tell you.
That's a great T-shirt slogan right there.
Yeah. It's the truth.
That's a T-shirt slogan.
It is the truth. I mean, the average client...
Cheapest roof
the cheapest roof you can put on is the one you get put on right the first time.
I've got an Appalachian question about the solar shingle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is that better? So,
whoa.
So, a lot of people don't like
What is it?
asphalt shingle roofs, mainly because you can't really hook up a rain gutter for rain barrels and have that drinking. You don't want to be drinking asphalt water. Now with these solar shingle roofs, is that something that you could hook up with a rain barrel system or?
Oh yeah.
There's no grit on them.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah. If there is grit, that's a manufacturing defect. That's a warranty claim.
Okay. Perfect. No,
but
I was just.
I put on many roofs where they have water catchment systems that they're using. I mean, I don't know what they're using it for, but.
Well, you'd have to, if you had asphalt shingles, you'd have to, I still ain't drinking it off of asphalt shingles, but you could charcoal filter it and stuff. You could get there, but it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. We just got our gutters replaced this past week, which I'm really happy about, but, eventually I'm going to have to replace my roof.
Yeah.
And we've talked about doing a tin roof, mainly so we can hook up rain gutters and have
a tin roof.
There it is.
That's Appalachian as hell.
There it is. The what?
Y'all know what I'm talking about, but
not really. It could be a 5V, a master rib.
Do y'all call spark plugs up here firing sticks? Y'all call the spark plugs firing sticks?
Hey, this man calls a wheelbarrow a wheelbar. I wonder why I didn't have a clue what he was talking about.
That's a wheelbar.
Wheelbar my ass. Wheelbar.
Is it Withville, Virginia, or is it Wiffle, Virginia?
With Vegas.
Over in Florida.
With Vegas. With Vegas.
Listen to him say Nissan.
Nissan.
I thought it's Datsun to you old bastard.
There we go. Ask him to meet you in the parking lot.
But hang about what?
If we're meeting somewhere And but all right, I'll meet you in the what? Car park.
The car park.
Yeah, the car park.
Did you see that video I put up on Twitter of the your fellow countryman sitting in his own garbage can on the hottest day in the year?
I did.
That's a funny thing too. When we get to the point we got cameras and stuff, we've got a little skits here and there. We can follow Simon around, like recreate, like clips galore. I'm excited about making that happen because these two are so marketable. It's not even fun.
It's a chicken.
You fuck wanker.
But we so up here today, up here at the we got Simon has fired up the brick oven pizza. So if you've ever been up here for 4th of July or one of our shows, we're ready to go jump on that and eat it. And we'll definitely have Dakota back on at some point in time because he's a sharp kid and he can obviously speak very well. And the more he speaks, the less Amos does.
So he puts roofs on by day.
Uh-oh.
I was gonna say the DJ,
And
I was
he's
gonna let
DJ Dakota by night.
Yeah.
Go, like the DJ Sidewinders.
Dude, yeah, if y'all ever want to come to a fun place, Sidewinders downtown Roanoke.
Dakota, we're all married.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
I can't go to Sidewinders. I'm married.
I always do a little skit at Sides. So, like, you know, at midnight, I always tell them, like, where's all the birthday people at? And they're like, yeah, right here. And I'm like, anybody here on a first date? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, anybody here on a last date?
How many guys have went, ah!
Yeah.
You know it's happened.
We got a worker that does that.
All we got to do is coordinate the hall passes. We all just got to get our hall passes on the same day.
Look, what happens? We get our hall passes on the same day.
I'm going to tell you,
What
it's so
happens?
dark up there. You
Started
don't
off
know.
to George Washington Hospital in an ambulance while we're having to wait to
What, an ambulance?
ambulance.
Ambulance. Good Lord, you
Ambulance.
slack-jawed hillbilly. You gotta be.
So, yeah.
Oh, hell.
That was probably how me and Amos met in the early years, right? I mean, all the loud music in the garage.
Well, I had to talk to Uncle Mike about it.
Yeah, that was rough. We had fun though.
Dude,
You used to host a bunch of parties, design.
who?
You.
So did he.
Maybe.
His
Well, there ain't
Allegedly.
no babies about his. There's
Allegedly.
That's what I understood. That's what I knew.
He looks like he could be a German Baptist kid. Yeah.
I don't have enough hair for that.
He's
I
got a
get
mindset
shunned.
like us.
Yeah, very ingenuine,
By
right?
the way, for anybody wondering, Chocolate Drop snuck in here. He hadn't been on the show in quite some time.
Chocolate drop.
He-
Chocolate
yeah,
drop. That's a T-shirt slogan.
We
It
haven't let him
certainly
really
is.
get on the microphone yet because one of the last times he was on, he was using racially tinged language, I believe.
Whoa.
And we were called out for that by Joe
People on
Stanley.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I want to.
Had no idea.
If we wrap this show up now, and then we'll go into the state of Appalachia. But the one thing I want to say, Dakota, your attitude is going to make you enormously successful.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, how many of his generation do you
None.
be like that? Yeah, exactly.
He's a thinker.
Yeah,
He
I
thinks for
do.
himself.
Yeah, some of my brightest ideas have come from the bathroom, on the royal throne. That's
There
what
you
that's
go.
my. Yeah, seriously, absolutely, dead serious.
That's where a thinking
Did
man
you
gets
pinch it off to get up and
inspiration.
write it down?
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
for
you know,
goodness sake.
when I rebranded the Big Lick Roofing, that was an interesting name, you know, because we go out to all these conferences and we get announced a lot, and everybody's
Big
they just laugh, and they're like, "Whoa, it's a legit company, folks! It's a legit company." Who put your roof on, Big Lick?
Well, because we've had Big
You
Lick
know?
Entertainment on here
Yeah.
show before with
Well,
There's a massive piece.
the
of
originally, what was it called?
Star City Home
Yeah.
Renovations,
And
after
so,
my
like,
dad's company.
He talked to me in the driveway. He's like, man, I think I'm going to, I was like, I tried to talk him out. I was like, dude, I don't think it's a good idea. You know, because I thought it would hurt the
It
brand.
was
And he
so
was like,
young.
No.
Yeah.
He was like, no, man, I want to go. And I was like, I want to go in change the name and just go in.
Just run with it.
And I was like, he's like, Big Lick. And I'm like, I can get on board with Big Lick.
Yeah.
There's so much.
But
you can do.
Roanoke-
Only you've seen the logo
Roanoke
concepts.
was originally
Oh,
Big Lick.
man. It was, yeah. That was the whole purpose of the rebrand, was to kind of keep a name that flowed with our locality, and it does.
You could steal the Rolling Stones logo on the basis. of Big Lick.
We're not going to call it steal, but we've kind of somehow
Borrow.
tried to incorporate that.
Borrow.
Yeah. Yeah. the accent just kills me. I mean, you should be a DJ.
Oh, we're getting him there. You should have seen him in D.C., I swear. We'll talk about that some in the state of
I'm glad
Appalachian.
Dakota came up today. Like I said, I mean, I have enjoyed watching him go from 19 to 26 years old.
You know, we're going to take that clip and isolate it.
I have, man. I mean,
A memory
I've
piece.
enjoyed watching him.
and even when he was 19 years old, just moved into a house. I'm going to tell you right now, I know you're 19 years old and you own
A
your
lot
own
of temptation. A lot of temptation.
house.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean,
That's
also,
a drive. That's drive.
dude, and yes, I've seen it. Well, but roommates is a factor that you can't factor.
Yeah,
in.
that was not I was not really in an entrepreneurial mindset back then.
Yes, you was.
Well, sort of.
Yeah, you was.
Just to understand the risk. Dude, you should become an insurance
Hey,
adjuster.
Billy's in his 40s and he's in the same boat. So
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing it right now. This is something innovative. Just
But
like
I
I just started a little later in life. That's it.
you know, I enjoy young people. I say young people when I'm talking about Dakota.
Oh, careful.
That was
Yeah, I mean, come on now,
Well,
President.
you know,
Biden.
because most people don't think that avenue. I got to get out of high
gotta
school.
go to
I got to go to
college.
college. You know, you get out of college with a basket weaving degree or political science like Billy, and you still really ain't no further ahead. You're actually in the hole because now you got.
I'm a 3-time college dropout. I ain't gonna lie. And the funny thing about that is it was all in the same year at Virginia Western. Community college, 3-time dropout, same year. 3 times.
Those are Jacob
3 different
Harris numbers
semesters.
right
So I
there.
consider myself a 3-time college dropout. I learned just enough. My first client was my public speaking professor, and he was not impressed.
But a lot of the people that's your age,
Yeah, it's
a
great.
lot of the people that's your age, some of them are still in college, some of them are still in school.
Yeah.
They're 100,000+ in debt. And last time that
Get away from that
you
concept.
have to go against everything that you had that society believes to do what you did.
Oh,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
what I did.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a whole. We should encourage that your mindset,
More and more, right?
sort of.
Yeah, more and more.
As an entrepreneur, you will be far better doing what you did,
Right.
for your own financial independence, because what you give away with your college education is your financial independence.
Yeah.
And-
Oh,
and-
100%.
You know, don't even think that piece of paper is worth wiping your arse on.
And gets worse by the day.
Yes, it does.
Well, where can they find you? Because I know you have really cool videos online sometimes.
Yeah, we make some funny commercials, don't we? We got Facebook. That's, Big Lick Roofing on Facebook. Go check out some of that stuff on there. We're on TikTok now. I got talked into doing that, and that's quite comical. Allegedly. Yeah, and we're on Instagram, TV, billboards, all that good stuff. We're experimenting with some new AI. I would love to get some people involved with that, but we're trying to, this is probably going to blow y'all's hats off y'all's heads at y'all's age. But I'm trying to sell roofs online.
At our age,
Yeah.
that's hurtful.
I
So
know.
what-
Well, I usually say AI and everybody's like, what is that?
Oh,
I
no,
think about
I
getting
know,
a
and
stick of
it's-
semen out of the semen tank at the farm.
Oh no,
We've been working on some stuff on the back end, and it's finally it's 98% operational. I've got this tool on my website now. You can type in your address. Google Maps will scan your roof, tell you how much your roof's going to cost with financing. And guess what? You can eliminate the sleazy salesperson spiel.
And this is through GAF.
It's through
Or is that-
actually it's an independent company that I've been
Yeah,
working
where
with.
can I find this? Because I'm going to need a roof replacement in the next few
Mm.
years.
BigLickRoofing.com.
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That is how to do
You
it.
can find
And
him
it's
at the
and
wood shop
I've
every
also
now and
I
then.
really didn't do it though to make money. It was more or less to be transparent. I think that's everything in a company is we got to be transparent with our pricing. So if someone can get online 3 months before they're ready to buy a roof and understand what goes into it, how much it's going to cost, it's better.
What the
prepared.
warranty is. They get
Right.
all
They do their research. And I think the number one thing that is missed in roofing is the warranty. Everybody mistakes a shingle warranty for a roof system warranty. It's not the same. If I tell you I'm putting a 50-year roof on your house, am I?
Right.
What makes it a 50-year roof?
the install.
Right. Yeah. What's under the shingles, right? Most contractors are putting a 50-year shingle with a 10-year pipe boot.
Whoops.
And pipe boots are
The number one thing.
brutal.
The number one thing that leaks on a roof is the pipe boot.
The number
the
one-
first thing.
Brown spot in your ceiling.
Pipe boot.
The water running down that pipe boot and dripping off into the
100%.
ceiling.
You can always tell people you can tell about the quality of your installation by the nails they use and the pipe boots. And I say nails because 99% of roofing contractors use smooth shank nail steel.
I knew where that was going.
Yep.
You're
I
gonna-
use ring shanks.
Well,
You're going to
And
make
that's how anal. I put my plywood on the roof with ring shanks.
Yep, same here.
That's how that.
Seriously.
you're going to make a bloody fortune.
well, let's get out of here and go eat some pizza and get
It's
this
pizza time.
second show on the road because Simon makes a hell of a
Hello,
brick oven
Domino's.
pizza.
No, I'm just kidding.
One last time you can go once again to help us continue to grow because we do things a little different around here. We like to say what we want to say. Patreon.com/get on tap for just $10 a day, $3 a month minimum. I know some of you people out there.
That sounds like an
we
Angela
are the
DeCicis
German-
commercial.
We are the
It does,
number
doesn't
one.
it?
We are the number one podcast in the German Baptist community. I know there's a lot of money floating around there. Amen. Just go to the collection plate. I mean, we're giving them free promotion over here. We need as much as we can.
Yeah, this has been great.
Thanks for showing up. Stick around for the State of Appalachia show. It'll be a whole lot more fun.
Pizzas are on the
What
go.
I'm trying to say about
Because it will
Dakota.
probably be one of the
Whoa,
shows
whoa,
that gets
whoa.
ripped off of YouTube. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
So enjoy Dakota.
Thanks for
Stick
calling
around
up.
Yeah,
for the
thank
next
you.
show because
You know where to find me.
Smokey gets animated and it's a good
In the
time.
hollow.
So,
Yep.
Oh, it's my fault.
It's Smokey's.
definitely.
Next door to the Mayor of Mockingbird.
All right, gentlemen, take it easy.
Daddy taught me how to shoot a gun just before that war begun. Then he left to take a stand, shed his blood for this great land. Now I'm leaving my home, across the fields I do roam. I got nowhere to go. I'm headed down to Mexico. Don't know if things could get much worse. Daddy must have left me with some curse. Called a man with my wife. I loaded up and I took their lives. Now I'm leaving my home. Across the fields I do roam. I got nowhere to go. I'm headed down to Mexico. Now I got hold of this bottle, got nowhere to live. Hate this life that I'm living, don't know how much more I can give. Now I'm leaving my home, across the fields I do roam. I got nowhere to go. Mexico.